Almost fucked that up. Okay. So I just got finished. I got my bunny. Here's a life update really quick. First of all, how was your weekend? How was your Father's Day weekend? Did you have a good weekend with your babies? And to the mommies that are daddies, keep going, mama. Keep going, mama. I did that for many years. Single mama. And it's tough because us women have to do a lot. Okay. One thing I noticed today being Father's Day, and I kind of thought I figured it out, but I might have been wrong. There weren't too many cops out, right? Because I'm they're always saying how the difference it is in the stores for Mother's Day and Father's Day. When you walk in for Mother's Day, everything's full of like strawberries, flowers, gifts, like whatever, right? And when it's Father's Day, it's like nothing. It's like bare, okay? And so I was like, there aren't really any cops out. I live in the hood. Okay, there's a lot of cops everywhere all the time. So I was like, there aren't really many cops. And then I was like, oh, well, duh, because most cops are probably fathers. Hello, how you doing? I was just doing a little recap of my life. Life is good. My life has changed this past couple days for the better. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay. All right. So let's talk my jazzy like. What did I hear? Did I hear Christopher? This child support it that I don't pay is a scam. Bowser say what? He said what? He said allegedly, according to Jazzy, that he's gonna take Paris away. He's gonna take Paris away from the only person she's ever known, which is her mama and her daddy. Happy Mother's Day and happy Father's Day to Medusa Gotti, who has been holding it down for Miss Paris this whole time. And I believe the only time he wanted to be in contact is when he wanted shelter from Miss Gotti, according to her, if we remember correctly, right? And what the hell? So now that he's gonna have to pay, he's gonna try to take custody. What happened was a little bit. Let me just a little recap. Both of them are getting on my nerves. Tell me about it. They belong together, don't they? I mean, come on, come on. If Dumb and Dumber were a couple, I mean, I mean, and then her her defending him like he makes you look so stupid and never defends you. Like when people are coming at her, you never see him come up and defend his woman, you know? Thank you. Absolutely. Okay, so Medusa Gotti was on live, I believe, on her YouTube channel. Okay, she too is a content creator, has her own channel. And Jazzy popped into the comment section and said, Chris is going to take whatever, is going to take custody of Paris. Jazzy, now Jazzy, you barely want your own babies, okay? You are living, laughing, loving, skin glowing, hair combed. Whenever your babies, the ones you push out of your vagina, according to you, you can't even stand them just by body language alone, okay? But when it's you, Hipsy, and the little guy, Junior, I don't know what his name, for his name, legendary. When it's y'all, you're just all smiles, all cheese, all Hallmark channel. No, Hallmark, what is it? Hallmark folder. No, no, no. Card all the time. Kodak moments. But then your kids come back and it's like, oh my goodness. Looking a mess. Chris is nowhere to be found. If he gets custody of Paris, that doesn't mean Chris is always going to be there. That means Paris is always going to be there. You know what I mean? Who believes that any, any judge would give him custody? I know. I don't think he's ever had custody of any of his kids. And just the what gets said here on the YouTube streets, is that something on my chin? Yes, it is. I mean chin, cheek. I mean just that alone, the accusations. Like, come on, come on. I think it was just her feeling a ways, putting her nose where it doesn't belong. In my opinion, this is just my opinion. If I'm ever gonna get into another relationship, and they have children, whatever affairs go on with the baby mama and whomever I'm in a relationship with, that child custody, blah, 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 none of my business. But I'll be the best bonus mom ever, okay? I will be the best bonus mom, but do not involve me. I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to strap it on with nobody. I'm not going to kick nobody's ass on your behalf. But there will be no disrespect of my person, of course. But that's between you all, okay? I'm just over here, trophy wife, okay? I'm just over here minding my business. I'm not gonna go online and be throwing jabs or nothing like that. Okay. So there you go. She just made herself look so stupid because he's like never there, and she's just that girl that just always has her man's back and he never has hers. You know what I mean? Yes, exactly. Plus, he has numerous, yes, accusations of DV. Eg- exactly. And according to Medusa, she said she doesn't even want that Paris doesn't want anything to do with him or doesn't want to live with him. Maybe she'd visit him, but he has to at least visit her on a regular basis, and then we'll talk custody, okay? And then she's over there in California. Like, do you even have a car, Hipsy? Like, come on, come on. She just made herself look real dumb. But Jazzy does do she plays these little stunts for views because nobody's really watching her. Everybody was watching that train wreck that's Liv's life. So then here she comes. So that's why I think they're in cahoots still. I'm in on the bus that says that Liv's life and Jazzy life are still friends. That's what I believe. If I'm wrong, it wouldn't be the first time, and it won't be the last time I'm wrong. But that's what I feel. I think they're just not public, friends in public. But I do believe they are still friends. But yeah, Jazzy just made herself look so stupid. I'm like, do you even look at your and her like if he's gonna do that, they're gonna go check the house, because I'm pretty sure the first thing I would do, Medusa, is I'd call CPS and be like, help. And that would add to her already. How many CPS cases does Jazzy have? Jazzy is so, and I was kind of like backing off, kind of just like leaving her alone. But then she just goes and she just does these things, just for, I guess, the shock value or whatever. But she's just, and but claims that we're like the clout chasers. But if nobody talks about her, to be honest, nobody will go watch her because whenever I see a reactor talking about her, I'm like, no, no, that's just the commentary. They're just showing me certain parts or whatever. I'll go watch it myself on her channel and I'll give her the view. And I'm like, it's worse than what I saw. It's so much worse. You know what I mean? I stopped counting. Yeah, after five. And it's crazy how I don't even think they've ever even been taken away, to be honest with you. And which is weird because I adopted my son through CPS. Okay. They treated me like the mother, like they treated the mother. Like they have no fit, even though I was the one coming to volunteer my time to, because he was a baby, he was in the NICU, my son, and their parents weren't allowed. They couldn't take him home because of the way he was born. Okay, so they had to call a family member so he could be released to the hospital, and that was me. Okay, and so I went to go visit him. Well, they investigated me like if I was the guilty party. So how she's getting all these free, I don't know. I don't know how she's getting all these free passes because they don't play. The ones like around here, like I heard some people, I think it was Liv saying that it's like all just they just want money or whatever. No, 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 no. I had three people checking up on me because when you have a CPS case, you don't just have one caseworker. Okay, when somebody calls, hello CPS, can you go to this house and blah 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 whatever, however they call or however they report it. So the first lady that comes is the investigator. Okay, first lady that comes is the investigator. She goes, she looks around. I have a feeling Mama Dukes knows an investigator or something because Austin is a big, there's a lot of people there, but everybody knows everybody. Like everyone. It's way smaller than San Antonio. I live in San Antonio, but everyone knows everybody, even the surrounding cities. And my where I work, we have a business in Austin, and it is small. It's like North and South Austin. That's it. You know how we have North, South, East, West. It's so small. It's just where are you at, North Austin or South Austin? Like that's how they talk. That's how they, that's how they talk about it. That's how little it is. So I have a feeling she's in the mom's in cahoots somewhere, because first the investigator came and investigated the parents, right, and saw that they were not able to take the child, right. So then that investigator decides is the deciding factor whether or not they're going to open the case. So that's where it stops. So if they're not opening cases on her, and they're just letting them go, because it'll stay on your record even though nothing's open for like 6 months to a year or something like that. So her mom must know like an investigator or something, because after that investigator, all bets are off. You got to take classes. You got to go. I mean, they pop in whenever the hell they want. Like I had three people. It was the investigator. I stayed in touch with her the whole time, a kinship because I was a relative, kinship caseworker, and then there was the regular caseworker. Okay, and then there was also for the inspectors, different whole nother lady that comes inspects your house. Make sure you have like the lids and everything like on trash cans. The spray like the cleansers got to be put away somewhere. Like it's a whole operation. So Jazzy isn't getting past the investigative part, in my opinion. My sister is a CPS investigator, and I have heard some. Yes, yes, and I believe, even though I don't know why they don't follow through with her, but the way she talks to her kids, and maybe it's because there's nobody that can take them, because that's another thing CPS will look for is stability. That's a big thing, is stability. And that's all those kids know. And what are the other options? The dad's a pimp. The mom's a drunk. Mama Dukes is a drunk, disabled. Like, who would take the kids? And then they try to keep them together. So it would have to be a foster home or a foster family that would take them all together. So I think that's another thing about it. You know what I mean? So I don't know how she gets by. I don't know. Whatevs. That's her thing. But for her to just come up here and say that, like, oh, it wasn't that cringe. That was like, oh my gosh. At first, I was like, that must be a troll. But no, I don't. I don't think so. I think Medusa really makes her feel a type of way, because first of all, how is he even with her? The math isn't mathing. But you know what? Sometimes I look back and I'm like, I don't know. Sometimes I look back and I'm like, we're young. I'm pretty sure Medusa's like that, but then she sees her beautiful daughter and she's like, you know what? It was all worth it. Sad all the way around. It is. But yeah, her throwing them allegations, like, come on. Come on, girl. Come on. And what happened with his job? Does he not have his job anymore? Because supposedly, everybody found out where he worked, which was a really good job, and then now he doesn't work. But then Medusa was saying he has to have a driver's license. I thought in order to work at anywhere government, you have to have a driver's license. And then another thing about working for the government, they do randoms. So, and I think he and Jazzy play with the booger sugar, because the way she come up here, I think her and Liv both dabble. You know what? I'm also thinking, I don't think, conspiracy theory, I don't think Liv is pregnant. I think all this help she's getting is for the baby she has, the little boy. The one I said she didn't have, that one. I didn't believe he was real, but just because of what she put out. But did you see? Okay, this is gonna turn into a live video. Did you see when she did her little furniture thing, her little furniture haul at the Salvation Army, and her son was throwing a tantrum in the back? Did you see how small his hand was? Her baby's hand is like a few months old, like so tiny. I don't know if it was his foot or his arm. Like he was like swinging them, like pissed off. My son does that all the time too. Well, he used to when he was younger, but his hand looked like it was a baby's hand. And then I noticed it looked like she had the car seat facing front, but he's too little. She needs to flip it around. But his hand looks so tiny. Oh, thank you. I'm so pretty. Thank you. I look like shite, but thank you. This is the end of the day. I was like, should I put some makeup on? I'm like, no. They're gonna have to see me like this, okay? Well, my birthday's coming up. My birthday's coming up on the 16th. I was telling the people at work, I was like, in 1 month it's gonna be my birthday, and I'm gonna be 43 years old. So my birthday is July 16th, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it, because when I was younger, I was like, oh my gosh, whenever I turn 30, I would be an old hag. I don't want to turn 40. And when I was younger, I lived a rougher life. And like I said in my earlier video, my brother was like, I'm so proud of you. You could have gone down like another path and like, some other people we know, but you didn't. And I'm so proud of you for being strong and independent. And just hearing that from my brother, just hearing that from my brother it really made me feel good. And I've been so busy lately. I feel so bad because I haven't been able to go live, but I'm just working a lot right now. I'm just trying to keep busy, and it's paying off. Okay, it's paying off, and things are changing for me, and that's all I gotta say for that. But anyways, so back to Liv. I think her maybe does. I think that's why she doesn't want to show him, because maybe he has like something medically wrong with him, because his hand was so tiny, and I was like, dang, like that. Unless he's younger, she did play around with the delivery date, the fake delivery, like when she was in labor or whatever. So I don't know if there's something like wrong with him, or maybe he's a little. I don't know. Or maybe because Zolo wasn't that big. Wasn't she taller than Zolo? I can't really remember, because in that Summer of Love, I was not watching. Did not watch a Summer of Love with Zolo. No, because he was annoying. Like you could tell he was just using her for the clout, but for some reason she didn't see it. What do you think the web kids are doing over there? I bet they're bored out of their mind. Sitting in those four walls. Like, when do we get to go home to our real house? You know how kids are very blunt. Oh, and then Gerard is in Puerto Rico, or wait, where did he go? Where did they go? They went somewhere. Like, oh my gosh, they're so lucky. And then I'm thinking, what happened to all of Liv's money? Why is she, or do you think she's just playing that she doesn't have any money just for child support purposes? You know what I mean? Like, what what does she do with all of her money? Because she has almost 100,000 followers, and she's on 5 platforms. Big O, um, TikTok, Instagram. I'm pretty sure she's on Facebook. I even make money on Facebook. That's the only income I get really on social media. But so I'm like, what does she do with all her money? And she's always eating out like all the time. Maybe that's what it is, because it does add up, eating out every day. But I'm like, why? why is she acting like she's poor? Like like Jazzy has more money than her. It looks like from the outside looking in. It looks like because you never see Liv buy groceries, but you know she eats. You never see her like she didn't fix her car. Like where's her car at? Like where's all her money going? Like I'm just like confused. Like but then again, I'm thinking she seems like those baby daddies, you know, the ones that quit their job, Christopher Bowser, so that they don't have to, so they don't have to pay any child support. You think he quit his job or he got fired? Because you know what, people can call. Remember my old job where I was being harassed? Okay, they didn't fire me. Like I told my bosses from the beginning, I was like, you know what, people have a hard on for me. Okay, they'll be coming by and they're probably going to be harassing me and they're probably going to want to taunt me or something. I don't know. And it was true, they did. But he did ever fire me because I told him up front. I'm the one that ended up quitting because I couldn't take it anymore. I was like, oh my gosh, these people are so relentless and they're so committed to annoying me. And it worked, you know. But it led me into a better direction, so I can't even be mad. I can't even be mad at it, okay? Anyways, so Jazzy needs to have a seat and go play with your children. Like, why are you harassing Medusa? What did she do? And then, did you see what Jazzy was, I guess, introducing Philip's baby mama? Like, what the fuck? Like, trying to act like she's the type that's cordial with everybody. Like, where was she before? Why all of a sudden are you introducing this lady? You know, who she seemed nice. I mean, I didn't see anything wrong with her. But why? Like, what are you trying to do? I don't even know if she even got followers because I never went back to check. But I don't know. She just needs to stay in her own lane and at least do video chats. Or Hipsy needs to do video chats with his daughter if he wants to be in her life. Because the way it's now, like, he doesn't even care. Like, he doesn't even know if she eats every day. Like, my son has been gone since Friday, okay? I have been just by myself since Friday. My son went with his grandma. He's 8 and he's a whole grown man now who doesn't need his mom. And I feel so sad. My eyes are getting watery. I feel so sad because he's not here. We've never been apart this long. We've never been apart this long. And but luckily I worked, so it's not like I didn't miss him, but I'm like, he has to see other family members, So he's gone. I'm like, how do people do this? Like without their kids? Like how do they do it? I can't do it. I'm just too much of a hands-on type of parent. I just I can't be away from him. But luckily he comes back tomorrow and hopefully he's not too tired. But I miss him so much and I just don't see how Liv, like, I don't know if Liv ever thinks like her kids can't look her up on YouTube and and see that she's happy go lucky or trying to pretend she is and they're not around. You know what I mean? Like, how would you, like, her oldest is old enough to just look her up. Like, if she's ever missing her mom because she's not there, like, she could easily just look her up and see that, oh, well, she doesn't miss me, She's just like nothing over there doing stuff with the little baby. And I don't think she ever thinks about that. Like they are old enough to look her up. Like nobody needs to tell them anything. Like they could just look her up and see what she's doing. And that doesn't like and the way she speaks, like when she was talking about I only got no, I was gonna get a 1-bedroom apartment, but they told me to get a 2-bedroom apartment. Like, what if Robin sees that and she's like, oh, well, just wasn't thinking about us? Like, kids will think about the randomest things that you wouldn't even think. They, they catch on. Like, I think she's still picturing them as those little kids that she once had all the time. And they're not. These are completely different kids. Like, she's a whole completely different person. Um, they're different kids, And I don't think she realizes how this is going to affect them in the long run. Even my son, who's never met his parents, he doesn't know them. He just knows me. I still have him in counseling because how was that going to affect him when he's older? I've had friends that were adopted, and it fucks them up. Even though they have loving, caring parents and all that, it still messes with them because there's always that rejection factor from your parents. You know what I mean? Like if they weren't there. And then if they go off and have other kids, I know people in my real life who their parents gave them up, or mom, I'll say specifically the mom, gave them up, went off and carried on and had other kids with other people. And that's still, they're adults now. And it still fucks with them. So when I got my son and when I finished adopting him and everything, it took 2.5 years. They even told me the first thing you do is get counseling for him because he's going to need it. Whether you think he's going to need it or not, it's better to be safe than sorry. So I hope the kids are going to counseling now because it's an adjustment and they're the ones that are suffering. I know Liv likes to talk about how she's, poor her, but it's really poor them, poor babies. You know what I mean? And even, I mean, counseling is good for anybody. Um, Jasmine children. First of all, if my son called me ugly, my son's always telling me I'm beautiful, and I'm like, stop. And when I heard little agency singing that song, if she was not live, she would have beat his ass. Like, but her kids know when Jazzy is recording, when Jazzy is online, we could do whatever. Because I remember when I was little and my mom was on the phone, we knew she wasn't really watching us. So it's the same thing with Jazzy and her kids. But I would never tell my mom she was ugly. Hell no. I would have lost all my teeth permanently right then and there. Okay, but I just I just don't know. What really irritates me about Jazzy is her energy with her children, and then when her energy when she's alone with Chris and Little Derry. That is what really pisses me off because it's like she does all of these things for little legendary. I'm trying not to call him the other nickname that we call him. That's why I had to think. I'm like, what is his real name? Because I accidentally said it like a couple months ago, and I felt really bad about it. But and it's like, and she doesn't see it. Like she acts like that's her first kid, you know, and she has these other beautiful babies. She has twins. Remember how she was with the twins? And now it's just like she forgets about them, and she treats them like she doesn't even smile at them. I don't even think. But let little Derry do some legendary. I'm so sorry. Dang it. Let little legendary do something. Forget it. Forget it. She's never seen a baby do that. It's so sad. I feel really bad for those children. But you know what? When they grow up, they're going to be the best parents because they're going to know what not to do. They're going to have the fine example of what not to do. And she thinks her kids are going to forget. My daughter, 23 years old, remembers every mistake I made. Okay, and I didn't do anything like Jazzy. I didn't do anything like that. Okay, but imagine her kids, and she's probably gonna be like my mom and deny it. Because I used to tell my mom too, like, we're little, this and this happened. My mom's like, when? That's gonna be Jazzy. When? When did I do that? I always got y'all what y'all needed, and you had a roof on your over your head. Yeah, because you brought us into this world. Like if they're doing something, like come on, muy apenas, like just barely. She's just barely doing it. But whatever. She doesn't even have room for the little girl anyways. So she needs to go somewhere and have a seat. Anyway, so that's my rant for the night. I really miss you guys so much. I'm gonna do a video in the morning before I go to work. I'm gonna try to get back into it and give you some more content, okay? And hopefully my son comes back and wants to come back tomorrow. He's gonna be like, I don't. My fear is my son's gonna be like, I'm having fun with Granny, okay? Gam Gam is where I want to be. Anyways, y'all have a good night and let's have a great week, okay? Bye bye.